Hello there, my lovely darkling. It's your favorite Jamila Anahata back with another video. I am a holistic life coach and tarot reader who wishes to empower your divinity in order for you to elevate from your darkness. If that is of any interest to you, you can visit me at thesoulfulveganista.com to check out my services and purchase my Ascending Goddess Intro to Holistic Living course. And subscribe for more videos. So today I want to switch it up once more. I usually like to talk about feminine energy, shadow work, just holistic lifestyle practices so we can embody the best version of ourselves and live up to our highest potential. But I want to talk about masculine energy today as divine feminine women, because as much as I talk about feminine energy and how we can be empowered and strong women on the inside and soft on the outside, I don't want to ever knock masculine energy. It's not bad that you have masculine energy within you. We all do. We have it to certain degrees, regardless of gender. We have a little bit more masculine energy for some folks and a little bit more feminine energy for some folks. Some folks probably have it an even split. Some probably have it even more so on one side of the spectrum. It depends on the person. Everyone is different. But I want to talk about how we can build healthy divine masculine energy as divine feminine women. Women who understand their divinity and women who are not scared of their darkness, so much so that they transmute it into passion, pleasure, and purpose. And before I begin, I just want to give a little descriptor of what masculine energy is, because we always talk about the softness, the grace, the strength, the sassiness, the sexiness, the sensuality, the elegance, the sophistication, the emotional and spiritual intelligence of the feminine. But we don't even really talk about what it means to be masculine. We just assume that it means being man-like. But what does it mean to be man-like? It is providing the structure. It is providing the financial stability. It is accountability, responsibility. It is container holding, making sure that everything is in place, everything's running smoothly, everything is in order. And if I were to describe it in something simple, I would say it is the chair I'm sitting in right now. It is providing me with structure. It is providing me and containing me from falling down on the floor, where I am being the receiver here. I'm receiving the structure of the chair. That's how I like to consider masculine energy. Or like my water bottle. Of course, gotta stay hydrated. My water bottle is the masculine energy here. It is containing the water within. And once again, as you know, the feminine energy of this is the water. Ever flowing, ever changing, all those types of things. And as women who are strong, who have had to do it all on their own, who really want to get back into a place where they are tapped into their feminine energy, doing their inner work, tending to their lifestyle, and making sure that their spirit is intact so they can feel whole, complete, and healed. It is important for us to still have that masculine energy, because I will say that I've fallen victim to this modern world that we live in, where, especially in the US, where women have to do it all on their own. And it is not our fault, but it is our responsibility to realign ourselves, as I mentioned in my last video, where we live in a world where it's very physical, it's very third dimensional, it's very tangible. And that's what the earthly plane is. And that means that masculine energy, which Earth really represents, or what the physical plane represents, we're going to be led by masculine energy people. This is a man-led world. And because of that, we've had to play the game. We've had to play the game that men or masculine aligned folks have created in this world. And it is very difficult, exhausting, and tiring for us women. And it's been very oppressive in the past, and even in a lot of ways now. We have more rights now, we have more freedom now, but there are still ways where we feel so bogged down, shackled, and under a microscope. And because of that, we know that we had to play the game, especially when it came to World War II here in the US. A lot of women gave a lot of their labor to supplement the economy during that time because their husbands went off to war. And we had to do rations. There was just a lot of lack at the time. So women felt the need to step it up and do what they had to do to play the role of the husband and the wife. So when the husbands came back, the woman was more independent than not. She didn't have to rely on anyone. She was still soft, but she provided not only her inner stability, but her outer stability. And that has progressed over the years, over the past 70 years, 70 plus years. And here we are today. And I will say that as somebody who recently had to really snatch themselves out of being in severe masculine mode, it is not easy. It is not easy, especially since you want to have certain outcomes done. You feel like you need to protect yourself from the world, especially the men who have harmed us. Since we live in a masculine and men-driven world, men are our natural predators in a lot of ways. So we had to protect ourselves, not only from their games in the marketplace, but from their advances, because we don't feel safe. And in order for us to be in our feminine energy, we have to feel safe. And I feel like that is a lot of why we've been in masculine mode, because we try to build that safety, stability, and foundation for us, because most likely the men in our lives haven't showed us that. We probably didn't have fathers, uncles, partners who really showed us that safety and security that we've always craved and that we always needed as little girls and women, adult women, grown women. And I will say that literally earlier today, a few hours ago, I overcame a block. I was crying and crying it out. It was so funny. I was in the shower. I was just listening to affirmations as I always do because it's a part of my shower routine. And out of nowhere, I had a thought in my head that made me immediately bawl crying. And it was the fact that I was the independent Black woman for so long because of my childhood. Or I didn't feel like I could be safe to express my feminine energy in all its totality because of my upbringing. And I'm not blaming my parents. I love my parents, and they did the best they could with what they had. But I will say that I didn't feel safe being in my feminine energy until very recently, and put up a masculine shield because I had to protect myself from feeling like I was going to be overly emotional and letting my emotions take over me. And my story with that, I will share with you today, is my mom growing up. My mom is still overcoming the sickness that she has felt and brought upon herself over the years of having to deal with her own masculine shield, having to always be strong, having to put on a mask, having to work very hard, having to be her own security from the hard life she led. And I will not blame her for that. And my mom was very emotionally unstable, very sharp with her tongue, very hard. Even though she did tell me that she loved me and she did provide me with a lot of great experiences, she was realistically the breadwinner growing up. She had to work very hard. She was a teacher. She was a great teacher. And though she was a great teacher, she was a very strict teacher. A lot of students would have called her a mean teacher. And I felt like a lot of the past pain she felt, a lot of the shame and guilt she felt, a lot of the lack of stability she had in her life growing up from the lack of a father figure or stable father figure growing up really translated into her work, really translated into her personality, really translated into her embodying the independent Black woman that a lot of us women and Black women fall victim to, because we didn't have the stability or we didn't have the security of knowing that other people would have our own backs, because we had to have our own back. And that is very, very uncool, very disheartening, very discouraging. And it makes you feel like you have to always put up your dukes, always square up, always have to protect yourself because other people won't protect you, because other people won't have your back, because they're probably feeling the same way that this oppressive person felt about you. And I know exactly what that feels like. So I'm telling you, sisters, I know what you're feeling. I know you had to put up the masculine shield because you didn't have what you needed to feel safe, to let your guard down, to let your walls down, to let your feminine energy flourish, to be soft, to be delicate, to express your creativity, to express your voice, to express your art, to express yourself in all your divine authenticity. I know exactly what that feels like. So I'm not saying completely wipe out all the masculine energy you learn to develop in your life. What I am saying is that it is time for you to lean back a little bit more. You can lessen it. You don't have to control everything. And although you probably don't have the support in your life that you want now, or that you feel like you deserve now, trust and have faith that that support is there. You are supported by the divine. You are supported by source energy. You will receive the support, the security, the stability, the foundation you desire and are worthy of once you allow it. So once again, in order for us to fully be in our feminine energy, we need to develop our healthy masculine energy. And we have been too masculinized these days. And as I always like to say, it is not our fault, but it is our responsibility to realign ourselves once and for all, so we can be the divine feminine woman, the goddess, the high priestess, the queen, the creatrix that we were born to be and born to bless this earth with. So once again, you don't have to completely get rid of the security and the structure that you've given yourself. I would say even use it. If we could probably put it on a scale from a 1 to 100 of how we should use our feminine energy and masculine energy as women and femmes, I would say use your feminine energy 70 to 80% of the time and have your masculine energy 20 to 30% of the time. And we already talked about feminine energy, and I'll talk more about that later, but with your masculine energy, once again, building that structure, building that protection. And when it comes to protection, we know this, but we can lean back a little bit more. We don't always have to have that guard up. We don't always have to be hardened and have that shield, because not everyone is trying to hurt us. And if they do hurt us, we know our boundaries for next time. So to protect ourselves, once again, as I said in my last video, we need to know who gets to have access to us, because not everyone is deserving of our energy. So we have to have those strong boundaries of knowing who gets to have our energy, who gets to be graced with our presence, who gets a phone call from us, who gets to be in our physical presence, who gets to be responded to, who gets to share a life with us. We need to be very selective of who deserves our time, space, and energy. And we need to make sure that we don't even give our bodies to the wrong people. We need to make sure that we have a commitment involved, that this person is dedicated to us, romantically or whatever. We need to make sure that we do not give our essence to the wrong people. And that means vetting them. And that means seeing their actions rather than just relying solely on their words. And I would say another thing is, if you already have your own job and your own career, wonderful. Have your own bank account, have your own money where you can provide for yourself. Once again, there is nothing wrong with having a provider. If anything, I always suggest it. We want a provider. We want a protector provider in our lives to take care of us, so we can have that weight off of our shoulders, so we can be soft and we can be in our feminine energy and be graceful and trust in the divine, have faith that all will be well for us. But it's very okay to make your own money, but do not overdo it, sis. Do not overdo it. Just like what I said before, not giving too much of your body is not just for romance and marriage. Do not give too much of your body to your work. If you do not enjoy it, if it does not bring you joy, if it does not expand you, if it does not give you the money that you're worthy of, it is not worth all your labor. Because we are in the task force, we're in the labor force, we're in the workforce now as women. And a lot of us overdo it because we want to have it all. We want to have the money, we want to have the status. But our productivity is not what makes us worthy. We are worthy for existing. We are valuable for existing, especially when we do our inner work and we do our shadow work and do everything necessary to expand and be our highest potential. But our worth is wrapped up in our energy and what we provide the world. And what we provide the world is our divine energy. Isn't that amazing? So use your masculine energy to make yourself feel safe, to be able to express that divinity for the world to expand on, to elevate from. And that means not giving your body too much to your work and to romantic interests that do not align with your values. Because if they don't commit to you, job and romance, if there's no commitment involved, if you're not going to get what you want out of it or what aligns best with you, and if it doesn't offer you any joy or expansion, not worth the labor, not worth the emotional labor either. Make sure that you are setting those boundaries in place to know what it can get access to you. So yes, we went over making your own money. We went over having your boundaries, being your own security guard, basically. Because once again, we gotta do what we gotta do. Because although we believe in good men, we believe there are good men out there, even though we are in a men-driven world. However, men, once again, are our natural predator. And we have to be very selective, and we have to be very strong with our boundaries. And of course, there is the threat of violence from men when it comes to things like that. So do what you need to do in the moment that makes you feel safe. And that comes to that again, even if you didn't have a father figure in your life, even if you didn't have healthy masculine energy in your life, especially as independent Black women, not saying that that's all of our experiences, because I had a great father growing up. I will say that there is a lot of healing with his masculine energy he needs, but he was still a provider in a lot of ways. However, whatever makes you feel safe in general, that you did not have growing up and you do not have now, create it. Create it in whatever way that feels good for you. Because you know how to make your own money. You know how to set boundaries verbally. You know, once again, it is an energetic thing, so you can allow your walls to come down if need be. But whatever makes you feel safe and secure, do that thing. And I'll leave that up to you to decide, because you know what's best for you. So that healthy, divine masculine energy that you are growing within yourself, you are once again building the foundation. You're providing structure for yourself. And you are making sure that you are feeling safe and secure in this world as we walk about, even if you do not have a protector, provider, husband, or partner with you. And that also comes down to structure, building regimens in your life, building routines in your life that make everything run in order. Because a lot of us, we want to go with the flow, and we want to be in the moment and be present and be joyful and light and airy, and that's a great thing. But you also have to have structure, you have to have routines, you have to have regimens to make sure that your flow is not blowing away with the wind or going along with the stream. And that comes from your lifestyle practices. That comes from your schedule, your time management, being disciplined in your mastery or your craft or whatever you need to do in the day. You need to build that structure for yourself because no one else will for you. And you're on a mission, whether it be being soft and being relaxed, or being career driven and trying to make a lot of money and live the life of your dreams. Whatever your goal is, that is up to you. No judgment or shame here, but you have to put those structures in place to make sure that you're doing what you gotta do in a timely and orderly fashion, because your flow will be scary if you do not have those regimens. So yes, we went over creating the safety for yourself and the security for yourself by having your boundaries and knowing who gets your energy. We've come to providing yourself with the money you need, the monetary value you need. You already know how to do that, but make sure that you're not overdoing it, because these workforces will take advantage of you because you want to be productive. But once again, your worth is not wrapped up in your productivity. Your worth comes from you existing. Being a woman is enough. All you have to do is step into it and expand, expand, expand. And number 3, creating the structures and regimens in your lifestyle to make sure that you are doing what you need to do. Because as much as we want to be light and airy and have fun and all those types of things, because feminine energy is so much fun, how much fun can we have when we have no structure? Please let me know. I'll wait. So yes, those are great ways to develop healthy masculine energy as long as you are still on the spectrum and not going too far on the other side. Because as I like to say, I used to be 50 to 70% in my masculine energy every time, but we cannot operate from that. We do not have the same biology as men. We can't do it all like them. We can't do physical labor like them, and we don't have to, okay? So make sure that you are at least 70 to 80% or whatever feels comfortable for you in your feminine energy, and leave the 20 to 30% to provide for yourself, to protect yourself, and to feel safe in this world. Even though there are a lot of reasons for us to not feel safe, but we already know what to do to figure it out. And once again, to my independent Black sisters out there, I know exactly where you're coming from. It is possible for us to be soft. It is possible for us to lean back. It is possible for us to be in our femininity. And I have complete trust and faith that you will also figure it out, and that we can be on this journey together, because it is ever growing, ever expanding. And it's been a year and a half for me, and I used to be there. And there's a lot of things that I have to uncover within my subconscious mind, but it is worth it. It is absolutely worth it, so we don't have to keep zipping up our own dress. I like to call it that. I used to call it the zipping up your own dress phenomenon, where we've had to be the person to zip up our own dress, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But once again, I am right there with you, sis. You are not alone. And we can change. We can feel happy. We can feel safe. We can feel provided for. Although it may not feel like it now, like I said before, we will always figure it out, because we will always have our own backs. And with developing our own healthy divine masculine energy, it is completely possible for us. So now we've reached the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe for more content, comment down below, and visit me at thesoulfulveganista.com to check out my services and purchase my Ascending Goddess Intro to Holistic Living course. Much love, and until next time, my lovely darkling. Bye-bye.